Hey, what's up, everybody? My name, of course, is the Great Shapoopy. My buddy texted me the other day. He had this great idea for a series. Let me know if you guys like this video in the comments down below. Like the video itself, send me a message, whatever. But he got Assassin's Creed 3 and didn't really understand like the full storyline because he didn't play Brotherhood or Revelations. So what we came up with was this idea to kind of do like a thing of, hey, here's what the storyline is so far. So if you're catching up on just one game in the series, you're already caught up because you have this video to kind of tell you what each game's about and give you the basic synopsis of each game. This is by no means anything like fully inclusive. I'm not going to go through every single little mission and side quest and all that stuff in each of the Assassin's Creeds, but I do want to catch you guys up in case you guys are starting with Assassin's Creed 3. So basically, you start out with Assassin's Creed 1, which is Desmond Miles, is the main character throughout all of them. He's the one that ties everything together. Desmond Miles gets kidnapped by this company called Abstergo. Abstergo is the basically hidden company of the Templars, and you are an assassin. So, hence the name Assassin's Creed. So Desmond Miles basically just gets kidnapped by Abstergo. He doesn't know that he's an assassin. However, while he is captive, he gets put in this thing called the Animus, because Abstergo knows he's an assassin. In the Animus, he can view and play through his ancestors' memories, and in the first one, you play as Altair. So, Altair is this assassin back in, I don't know the year, but he's basically in the times of, like, Jerusalem and all that stuff. So, that's kind of where he's at. So Altair is an assassin who's trying to reclaim his name because he broke the three tenets of the Creed. The three tenets, of course, are being the stay your blade from the flesh of an innocent, make sure you hide in plain sight, and you never compromise the Brotherhood. So to regain his status, Altair has to hunt down 9 targets that his leader, the assassin's leader, Al-Mulim, has sent him to kill. Throughout his journeys, he goes and tries to kill all of the Templars. He goes through and kills these 9 targets. The whole reason why is because there's this thing called the Apple of Eden. The Apple of Eden is one of many pieces of Eden that he has to search for in order to kind of control. And the Templars want these objects of power so that they can kind of keep up what they can do what they want and be able to control whatever they want. And with the Apple of Eden, you can control like people's minds and stuff like that. So this is the first piece that they come up with. So Altair is trying to reclaim that and trying to get it back. Well, throughout the course of the entire game, you learn that all 9 targets end up being part of a bigger conspiracy of there's a 10th target, which happens to be Al-Mulim himself. So that's kind of the whole thing. You eventually get back to the, whatever, back to the assassin's headquarters, and you have to kill Al-Mulim at the end, and you, as Altair, become the leader of the assassins. In the meantime, though, while you're doing that, you also have Desmond Miles' storyline, and Desmond's still captive of Abstergo. Well, after they find out where one of the pieces of Eden is from Desmond, they want to kill him, but Lucy Stillman comes up and ends up being the kind of savior there of Desmond, and says, hey, why don't we keep him around just in case he needs to, in case there's, we need to use him again to find more apples or more pieces of Eden. And so that's kind of how that ends. And then Assassin's Creed 2 picks up right after that, where the very first thing you do is Lucy is actually breaking Desmond out of Abstergo. So she brings him to the special hideout that they have, where they meet Sean and Rebecca, and they are both assassins as well. Plus, Desmond finds out that they have this wonderful thing called the Animus 2.0. So what they do is Desmond volunteers to use the Animus again. He learns about this thing called the bleeding effect, and with the bleeding effect, hopefully he can go through the life of an ancestor, and he will inherit those gifts based off of the fact that he is, reliving them through the Animus. So the Animus will give him those abilities in a much quicker time period than if he were to actually go out and train and, figure out how to be an assassin in real time. So, in Assassin's Creed 2, we get introduced to our next main character, which is Ezio Auditore. Ezio Auditore is in 1400 Florence, and during the Renaissance. So he's hopefully the hope with this is you actually the first thing you see as Ezio is the birth of Ezio, and then as it continues on, it goes into Brotherhood Revelations, which I'll get to in a second. But it's all of Ezio's life. The main part of Assassin's Creed 2, though, is that Ezio's father and brothers get assassinated by Umberto Alberti. That's a freaking mouthful. But he's in league with the Templars. He's basically like kind of one of the officials in Florence, and he happens to be a Templar. Well, again, as Ezio, you don't know that you are actually an assassin. So your father is an assassin, but you don't know that you are. So what it is you go through, you try to figure out who's, try to figure out what's going on, and as you come to find out that you are an assassin, you go up to your uncle's house in Montenegro, and you find out that your Uncle Mario is an assassin as well, and he trains you. So that's kind of the whole setup of that. As you go through the game, you're getting revenge, basically, for all the people who tried to kill, who did kill your family for the most part, except for your mother and your sister. So as you're going through that, you're sitting there figuring out that you're an assassin, all this stuff, and again, you find out about these pieces of Eden, and you're trying to reclaim them because you realize that if the Templars get them, then you're going to be kind of screwed in the long run. So during the course of this, you're figuring out that you have these weird things called glyphs that show up, and they are from Subject 16, and you are Subject 17. So Subject 16 gets kind of introduced, and you try to figure out exactly who this is, and there's these glyphs that are throughout the world that you got to find, and then there's this mystery that's behind it, where there's the apples of Eden, and it like shows Adam and Eve, whatever is the secret videos in those. So that's what you're trying to find. As you get down, the Borgia are the ruling family in Florence, and they are basically they become so much in power that one of them becomes Pope, actually, and has possession of the papal staff, which turns out is a piece of Eden. So what you try to do as Ezio is you try to kill him, or well, not kill him, but you try to reclaim the staff of Eden. And in the course of that, you actually take him down. However, you don't end up killing him. You actually walk into a room, a vault that you're trying to find, which all these pieces of Eden unlock a certain vault. And with this one, you unlock a vault, and you run into Minerva. And Minerva is from the first civilization, is what they call themselves. So what you try to do is you try to kill them, or you try to talk to Minerva and figure out what's going on, and try to figure out some of the more of this storyline. But Minerva, being from the first civilization, is kind of a higher power thing. Like, she understands a little bit more than what you do, and she actually knows that you are Desmond Miles playing as Ezio Auditore. So she's actually talking to Desmond for most of it, and during the meeting. And Ezio, of course, obviously completely confused, doesn't know what's going on. But at the end, as soon as you kind of figure that out, you leave the memory almost instantly, and the Templars have actually come to claim you and Lucy and Rebecca and Sean. So in the course of that, your secret hideout has been compromised, and now you got to fight your way out. This is during the credits are rolling, and you basically break out of the secret hideout, and then you go on to continue the storyline, and that kind of concludes Assassin's Creed 2. From there, we go the continuation of Ezio's storyline into Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. So this one was released back in 2010. So the game is just, like I said, is a continuation. And what you do is it's the day before your sister's surprise birthday party. So you end up spending the night with a lovely female companion. And this takes place, by the way, right after Assassin's Creed 2. The very first thing you do, I believe, actually, is leave that vault. So, but you get back to Montenegro with your uncle. You spend the night with the lady because it's your sister's surprise birthday party the next day. So you court a lady who's trying to help, whatever. You're at the auditory, you can. But you wake up to find the Borgia are back, and they are attacking Montenegro. In the course of this, your uncle eventually gets killed. So while you're trying to catch up to them while they escape for doing that, you have to in the course of this game you're trying to take down the Borgia, and you take down Cesare and Rodrigo, both of them. So what you do is, again, you try to catch up to these guys, kill them. You search for the Apple of Eden once again, and in the course of this, your secret hideout as Desmond is actually Montenegro itself, which is really cool. I thought it was kind of a cool correlation there. So anyway, so basically you're trying to go through, kill the Borgia, and there's really not a lot there other than you kind of figure out a little bit more about the first civilization. You learn kind of that backstory a little bit. At the very end, though, you do end up killing Lucy. And the reason why is, who is it? Juno. There you go. Juno, another person from the first civilization. In case you're recognizing, these are old, I want to say Roman gods that they're referencing in these names. So in the game, they don't actually call themselves gods. They call themselves the first civilization, and they actually tried to blend with like humanity and stuff. But what happened was they're the first civilization, but they're based off of old gods and different religions. So what it is you go through, you're trying to figure out how to do all this stuff, whatever. And then so you end up getting told and controlled by Juno through the Apple of Eden, and you end up killing Lucy. So that's kind of how that ends. You fall into a coma as soon as Assassin's Creed Brotherhood ends, and Lucy is at that point unknown. However, you come to find out at the beginning of Revelations that she is dead. So that brings me to, of course, the final one here that we're going to talk about, and that is Assassin's Creed Revelations. It's the fourth installment, of course, and so far in this game we have been introduced to Ezio, Altair, and Desmond. So all three of these guys are kind of tied into each other. With Revelations, Ezio kind of runs into Altair a little bit through some memories himself, and the way he's searching for these keys that will hopefully open up a vault in Masyaf, which is the original Assassin's headquarters. So Ezio is trying to find all of these keys. He's trying to get back into the secret library in Masyaf from Altair, and you can kind of actually go through some of Altair's memories through Ezio. So it's kind of like a whole Inception thing going on, where you're Desmond Miles playing as Ezio Auditore, and Ezio Auditore playing as Altair in these memories. So it's very trippy in the fact that like it's very layered in how you go about it. So it's really cool. So basically, you're going through, you're trying to find who where this secret vault is and stuff that you learn about, and it's supposed to hold like this ultimate wisdom. But of course, once you're Ezio and you originally show up to the temple or to the Masyaf library, when you're trying to look for it, the Templars end up attacking you and ambushing you there. So throughout the entire game, you're kind of going back through everything and trying to get the keys back and trying to find all of this stuff and whatnot. Once you find all the keys, though, you do go back to Masyaf as Ezio, as a very elder man, and you have to go through and you unlock it. You will end up seeing Altair's remains inside the library, and then you learn about this. You see like the back wall or whatever, and it's just the location of the Apple of Eden, and then you kind of think about it for a minute and you go, nah, I've seen enough for one lifetime. And that's basically how Assassin's Creed Revelations ends. The really cool thing about Assassin's Creed Revelations is they had a DLC called The Lost Archive, and the DLC actually explains Subject 16's storyline as well. So you kind of get the conclusion of Ezio's storyline. You get closer to kind of figure out what Desmond's kind of all about in this. You kind of figure out where Altair ended up, and because of DLC, you can kind of figure out what happened to Subject 16. His name is Clay Kazmarek. So it kind of ties a lot of stuff together. With Assassin's Creed 3, you were obviously playing as Connor in the American Revolution. So that's what's really cool about it, is you kind of have like this new character now, which I'm super excited about. So hopefully this video helped you guys out, though. And kind of caught you up to exactly what's going on with Assassin's Creed, how everything kind of ties in together. And if you guys like these videos, maybe tips on how to change it up, how to make it a little bit different, how to make it more interesting, whatever, leave comments down below. We love it when we have feedback from our viewers, and we love making sure that everybody just kind of has this group of knowledge to kind of let everybody know what's going on. We love making our videos. If you, like I said, if you guys would like, if you guys like this, please make sure you guys let us know in the comments down below. Also, make sure you guys click this annotation right here. If you want to go to our channel, please subscribe to us. We work really hard to put out these videos. So, again, that kind of concludes everything for Assassin's Creed 3. Maybe, again, if we get positive feedback, we will do another one for Halo 4 and catch you guys up on that. And if you guys really like it, we can go on to Black Ops 2 and catch you up on the Call of Duty storyline. So again, just let us know in the comments down below, and hopefully I will be bringing you guys some Halo 4 videos, some more Assassin's Creed videos, and as soon as Black Ops comes out, we're definitely going to be covering that as well.